Welcome back to Disturbing the Main Team podcast. I am Cannon Gates, the station manager here.
I am JT, the music director here.
And I'm Nick Green, the production director.
That is Nick Green, the production director. That's right.
For a second.
All right, anyways, welcome back to Disturbing the Main Team podcast. Today we're going to be talking about problem solving, and I'm going to pass it over to JT. JT, how do you think you solve problems?
So, problem solving. If one way doesn't work, try another way. And when you go off of that, then you can just – and if the way doesn't – you try something one time, it doesn't work, try something else, then that might work for you, then you figured it out. Also, think before you act as well. I think that's key as well. Like when you're problem solving and then things might arise, maybe think it through first, and then it'll be easier to maybe solve that problem because you've already had that thought process go through where you're able to solve it easier than you would if you didn't think about it.
I could tell after those first few words that you were just going off the dome. Because like the first few words he said were like, okay, JT, and then he was like, so like, you know, like how it's like, and then he got there. Then he got there.
I was like, it was like thinking it's just going to come to me.
Hey, you got it. You did good. Nick Green, how do you think you solve problems, or how do you think problem solving works?
Well, for me, it depends on the problem. Okay, let's keep it real. It depends on what the issue is here. Because if we're dealing with like a personal problem, I mean, you're going to handle that differently than if you're handling a problem with other people. Now, if it's a problem, why are you laughing at me?
Keep going.
He's laughing at me. I don't understand. I don't want to say I'm having a problem with Mr. Gates right now because he's laughing at me.
So how
am I going to solve this problem? Is I'm going to ignore him because that's what I like to do with Mr. Gates. Just ignore what he says all the time because, you know, he never really knows what he's talking about anyway. So we're going to ignore him right now. And so when you have problems with other people, for instance, you can choose to ignore them. That's a good thing you can do, right? Other things you can do is, you know, just don't let it affect you. So like Mr. Gates is laughing at me right now. I'm just not going to let it affect me. I'm going to keep talking to you as if he's not laughing at me right now.
The question is, what happens if you are the problem? Maybe that's what we need to revert.
This is a good question.
It's like the man who threw the chair off Eric Church's bar. I'm the problem, baby.
I'm the problem. That's a quote right there. That's awesome. But yeah, no. In all seriousness, though, there are lots of ways you can solve problems here. If you're stressed about something at work or something, maybe make a to-do list or something like that. That's something that I like to do. Is just have a list of things you know you need to do, and try and give yourself a timeline to accomplish that. Having a timeline helps to make sure you accomplish those goals, and it gives you something to work towards too. So that's something I like to do. And then if you are having problems with people socially, try and think of how other people are thinking about situations too. You do want to kind of consider how they're feeling about things. To an extent, obviously. I mean, you have to prioritize yourself, but you do have to take into other people's feelings about how you want to do things into consideration. So that way you just don't act blindly and make yourself look like a big old jerk when you're not really trying to. That is another big thing. I've had to learn the hard way a few times.
Well, I'll tell you this, Nick. The main reason why I was laughing is because I've told you this before, but sometimes when you like start talking, your country accent comes out so much, and I can't tell if it's fake because you're like, well, everybody, you know, this is how you solve a problem. And I'm like, I know I talk a little country, but like yours turns on a lot more sometimes, and it just makes me laugh because the last little bit you were talking, you sounded completely normal, but then you're like, the first part you're like, well, so let me tell you, you know. That's it.
I've noticed. I don't know. Like, it's not fake, but I don't know what it is because it's weird. Because it's like it happens at certain times and it doesn't. It's almost like if I know what I'm gonna say,
he's solving a problem, right?
If I know what I'm gonna say, it's not as bad. Versus if I have no clue where I'm.
Apply what you've said. Apply what you just said.
Learning from your past.
There you go, Nicholas. There you go, Nicholas.
Take other people's words into consideration and learn from your past.
It's not even a problem. I just think it's funny. Anyways. You know, for me, problem solving, I mean, both of you guys, you guys both hit the nail on the head on the hammer. But for me, you know, it's really, I think it's a lot of what JT said. It's a lot of like thinking of what the whole aspect. Because sometimes when you solve a problem, you can maybe make that a problem for someone else, and you don't want to do that. You really don't. Not if you like you don't have to, or if you know maybe if it's like if it's a friend, you know, maybe it's like a group project, stuff like that. You don't want to make it a problem for someone else if you like. Sometimes that does happen, and you know, sometimes it's just what you got to live with. But I feel like that's the best. You want to look at the whole aspect, the whole problem, and from all angles, not just your point of view. And you want to look at it from A through Z, like see all of the different scenarios that could happen. I think that's the main thing with problem solving is definitely just deciding how you want to go about it. Because there is always different ways. There could be 100 different ways for one certain problem. Sometimes all 100 ways could work. Sometimes 50, sometimes 10. Sometimes only one way will work, and that's whenever it does hurt people. And that's sometimes what you got to live with because that's just sometimes how you got to solve a problem. For me, though, I think that's definitely the main thing. And it's like JT said, just think about how you want to go about it. Also, for problem solving, I think for me, this is kind of for everything, but one thing is kind of just taking 10 seconds and just kind of breathing and then solve the problem. 10 seconds are just like, just sometimes like that. I think that applies for everything, at least for me, is kind of just letting everything go and then, okay, what do I need to do to solve this problem?
Come back to it.
Exactly. Give me 10 seconds. Give me a minute. Give me a few minutes. Just give me however much time I think I need for this certain type of, because sometimes it's a small problem, sometimes it's a big problem. That can kind of vary how much time you think you need, and then you're going to come back and figure out what you want to do. Yeah.
So basically, to go off of that, I've done something recently now where I might feel overstimulated, or it might not even be a problem, but you might look at something as like, okay, this could be an issue, so like, how do I fix this? And you might get overstimulated and feel like, oh crap, this is bad. What I've started to do now is I'll just close my eyes for like 5 seconds and just like resort to your happy place, or just like think happy thoughts, and then just kind of it calms you down, I guess, in a sense, and just let it calm you. And then going off of like when you said you could just resort back to, what did you say, like you're going for what did you say? It was like a problem, and then taking a step back, or you take a step back and then
look at it
go
from
for
everyone
it.
else.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that. You just take a step back for a second, and
Yeah.
you just calm yourself down, and then you might be ready to go face whatever challenge you are facing.
Yeah.
Whatever it might be.
I think for maybe this last part right here, all of us maybe say, whether it be for WZMB, the radio station, or for personal life, like say maybe how you solved a problem in the last however long. So for me, I'm going to go with a problem that happened. It was WZMB related. Was last fall. I started last summer as WZMB station manager, and our summer stuff is not nearly as intense or jam packed as fall and spring are. And so last summer, it's like pretty easy, just getting used to it. And the fall comes around, and we always have our zombies come in, interviewing and applying and doing all that stuff. And for me, having to deal with getting all these emails back, having to set up times, doing all this, having to get these people in for interviews, how many people, because there was a lot of people who had to get interviewed for our zombie spots. And the main thing is, for me, it's kind of what I just said, step back, look at it, decide how I want to do it, take a breath, all those different types of things. Now, there have been other problems since. It was just like the main one that kind of went to my head immediately was, how do I solve this? Because that was my first big task as station manager here. So I just wanted I'll pass over to JT. Maybe I'll pass over to Nick. But a problem that you, maybe with what you said, or even other stuff that me or Nick have said, whatever, how you use that to solve a problem.
Okay.
Just to give a real world example.
That's what I was when I said the thing where you.
Yeah. No, I know, but I'm saying
like a real example.
like a real example.
Got you.
So for me, the first example that comes to my head is something that is very exciting in my near future, but something that also caused a lot of stress pretty recently too. I've got these two know about it. I've talked about it very, very often. I'm pretty excited about it. So I'm going to Nashville in about a week. I'm going with my family. My friend's family, like my best friend from back home, his family, and then some of my ECU buddies are coming up for the weekend too. And just trying to navigate how I want to spend my time with everybody that weekend, because they all have very different interests and very different things that they want to do while they're there. And I want to make sure nobody feels shortchanged with them coming up, because it's also for my 21st birthday too. So a lot of it is they want to spend some time with me, and so I want to make sure I kind of divvy that time out as well as possible. and not shortchange anybody. So trying to just make sure we do that has definitely been something that I stressed about recently. Something I've done to kind of figure this out is I've definitely taken a step back. I've also, one thing we didn't mention, but one thing that you definitely can do is I talked to some trusted friends for advice on this too. I was like, how would you handle this? Me and my brother had some conversations about this. We had some conversations about how we would want to handle this. And what we thought was the best course of action.
I was just pointing because like me and you have had.
Oh yeah, I
about
talked to Mr. Gates about
Yeah.
it too, about how we wanted to handle this, how I should handle this. I'm like, what would you do in this? And it's just something that it helped me to get to the point where it's all handled now. I'm super excited. I can't wait. And now we're all ready to go. The stresses are out the way. It's all just fun party time for next week.
There you go, Nicholas. Yeah, and I went to Nashville. I told Nick last month, I guess now like 3 weeks ago. Great time. I know Nicholas is gonna have a great time. Very fun. And we'll end it. JT, tell us a little bit about what you think.
So, real example here. So, as mentioned in the last podcast, I got a big idea coming up this fall, and I don't really want to name drop it yet because
Yeah, don't.
I don't want to name drop it yet because it's still in the vault. But there is something big that I want to have happen in the fall and get a bunch of people involved. But the thing is with that is there's a lot of resources you need and a lot of time and work and effort goes into it. So obviously that can get stressful, and there's definitely going to be problems that arise from it because you want everything to work out a certain way, but it's not probably going to work out exactly how you want it to work out. And that's how a lot of things are just in general. And you just got to kind of improv from that and work it out. And that's another thing from problem solving, just working it out from there. So when things do arise where it might not work exactly how I would want it to work out, that's when I need to just, like y'all said, just, take a step back and reevaluate things and think of it from the other perspective as well, from other people's side of things that, will be helping me with this event and stuff like that, like understanding their needs as well. So just seeing all sides of different things and ultimately working it out the best for everyone involved in it. So I'd say
great examples by both of you. And either of you got anything else you want to say?
Stay tuned for what's coming in the fall, though.
Nick?
Be ready.
One last thing. Go Pirates.
I knew that was
go
coming.
Pirates.
I knew that was coming. Well, that was Disturbing the Main Team. I'm Cannon Gates. That was JT Lee. That was Nick Green. Y'all have a good one.
See you.
Okay.
I'm putting that in the video.
Please keep it.